Good morning. Talk to you before Roxy starts waking up and shaking the sleepies off. I hear her like moving around a little bit. So anyways, I wanted to talk to you about the guy that walked through our camp. And for all I know, he could be totally harmless, totally fine. You know, like we don't know what's in his head. But just something didn't add up. And so my neighbors were walking across my camp. I shouldn't say my camp. This is everyone's land. This is your land. This is my land. I was about to sing the song. Anyways, they were walking through camp with their dogs, heading to their friend's camp. And so I started walking towards them, and they turned around. They're like, hi. I said, hi. And then said, are you coming to talk to us about that weird guy? And I said, yeah. And so they told me what happened at their camp with him. And then I told them what happened, you know, with me. And it seems to be that okay, I'm not accusing him. I don't know him, but it seems to be that he was targeting single ladies, because there's a group of them over there, and then there's one lady that has her van by herself, and she was kind of doing stuff outside, and he approached her, and he never really asked. She said he didn't really ask like what he wanted. It's almost like he was like, you know how it takes time, you know, like, let me build trust. Let me get your guard down. Like, don't just come out of the gate, you know. So he's very polite, very, I don't know how to put it, you know, too polite. When they saw that, you know, he was stranger danger, you know, they started coming towards her camp, you know, to protect her, because they don't know who he is. And then the other weird thing is, you know, he's got his hoodie. He's got his glasses, he's got, you know, a jacket, he's got gloves, you know, he's all covered up. You don't see any of his face or anything like that. So it's like, who is this guy? Even when he came to me, you know, the sun was already out, you know, like you don't need to have all that. But who knows? Again, I'm not judging. Everybody has their reason. But when they started coming towards her camp, and then he saw that there's more people, he left her. He just left. He never asked for anything. He did tell her the same thing that he told us, which is that his ride left him. And so then he makes a beeline over to me, and I'm outside getting things ready. Roxy's inside the RV. I'm getting things ready, and he did not announce himself. You know, normally when you're approaching somebody's camp, you're usually, you know, hey, I'm coming, you know, anybody home, like that. Please. Like, announce yourself, you know, don't startle somebody, for your protection, for their protection. So anyways, he starts coming, and I hear footsteps, and I hear them coming from, you know, from this direction. So I know it's not somebody I know, and they're pretty close. So I step inside the rig and close the slider, because I don't know who it is. And then next thing I know, that's when my friend's dog starts running. She said her dog just ran out of her van and made a beeline over here. Little Busy Bee was protecting me. And so she came after her dog. Meanwhile, Roxy's kind of barking. And so he ends up talking to her first. And you can see, if you watch the video, what happens is, first he says Merry Christmas, she says Merry Christmas, and then he says that his ride left him, right? And then he said something like, could I bother you for, like, something like that, in that sense. I forget the exact words, but then he didn't finish his sentence. And then the dog's barking, so she's trying to get her dog, and meanwhile Roxy's barking. So then I pull out my phone right before that, and I start recording him. And you can see in the recording, he looks up and he sees that I'm recording, and he picks up his stuff and he walks away, and he's just like, sorry to trouble you, and he leaves. He never asked for anything. We don't know what he wanted. And again, he left and went that way. And the gentleman said, you don't approach a woman, a single woman, alone, as a guy. And I'm like, that's what I was thinking. Like, there's so many other people he could have gone to. Like, why did he come to me? And why did he come to her being alone? And so that's what brings up, you know, like the red flags. It's like, if you're a guy, go find another guy. Go find a group of people. Like, do that. Anyways, from what I heard, their story was that he gave his rig to some gal. So then he was on foot and picked up a ride, and then that ride left him. So I don't know, and we still don't know what he wanted. And it's like, okay, he's going wash to wash, you know, he's going camp to camp. You know, the main road is over here. Hitch a ride, go to town, you know, go where you're gonna get help, not out here where people are wanting to be left alone. You know, they're all like spaced out. Anyways, it was just weird. It was weird. And so, and then what was also just, you know, I don't know if it's coincidence, I don't know if it's God, but it was just like, okay, the night before, this random video popped up. And it was talking about the 3 people that you have to be careful out there for. The person that has nothing to lose, the person that is used to violence, you know, so it's nothing. They're used to fighting all the time. And the person that is like way too nice, way too unsuspecting, way too friendly, way too, you know, accommodating, to where you put your guard down. We're in a day and a time where you have to think about yourself. You have to protect yourself. And there's a lot of mental illness, and mental illness is not always obvious, right? So it can come and go. Somebody could be fine one minute and then just snap the next minute. Somebody could be triggered. Somebody could have a chemical imbalance. Just a lot of stuff. They could be influenced by a lot of things. You know, you just don't know. I've heard stories, trust me. I've met people on the road who said, I picked up this person and all of a sudden they just, you know, switched on me. So anyways, you just don't know. Only time, you know, spending time with them under different situations and knowing them, knowing their friends, knowing their family, stuff like that, you really get to know someone. And anyways, I'm going to let you guys go, but I know that there's going to be a lot of, you know, speculation, good and bad. Everybody has their experience. So I know a lot of you guys will be saying, you know, I agree with you. You did the right thing. Not that I did anything other than get in my rig, and just be careful and stuff like that. I don't really walk in fear, you know, but I am very cautious. I'm extremely cautious right now. Like, for some reason this year, I'm just, not this year, but like in the last, you know, few months, I'm super cautious. Before, you know, when I first started, I was just like, la, 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 rainbow, sunshine, butterflies, everything's good. You know, nothing's going to happen to me. My rig is, you know, bulletproof and it's never going to break down and everybody's friendly. Everybody's good, you know, like, I mean, it's a different world. It's just a different world. I don't know if I've changed or just the world has changed. But my son used to say, you know, Mom, there's people that live under a rock. You're the person that lives under the person that lives under the rock. You're in such a bubble, you know, like, wake up. The world is not what you think it is. Not everybody's good, you know, and you just can't trust everybody. And, you know, there's like crazy stuff. And then the more I started watching things and seeing things, I was just like, oh, you know, the reality of what's out there is just like, oh, whoa, like, yeah, time to prepare. And so I started putting things in place. So I started, you know, preparing, and, you know, I feel like I'm there now, you know, and I don't want to be scared and paranoid. I want to enjoy myself, but I do want to use wisdom, and I do want to follow my gut. My neighbors, super, super nice. I forgot all their names, but they're just like, you know, if anything happens, just honk your horn. We're here for you. So you're not alone. You know, I've got my friend here too, you know, but they're like, if anything happens, you know, just honk your horn. We'll come running. So I was just like, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. So this will be my last night here. So I'm going to be taking off, spending time with family for Christmas, and hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay, bye guys. Stay safe and be kind to everybody and just be wise and have a blessed day. Okay, bye guys.